If you're an artist, AI is coming for you. Or that's what I've been hearing anyway. And I've been doing a lot of listening and experimenting with AI myself, and I think as creative people, that's probably where we should all start. And I've heard a lot of arguments dismissing creatives, one particularly being that if you currently work digitally, you are using some form of AI within your art already. And yeah, that's true. But in my opinion, up until now, AI's assistance with image making has largely been tool-based. Very few of those tools are going to do your entire job for you. Content Aware in Photoshop saves a ton of time and does a really good job most of the time. But what I want to highlight is that most of these tools just assist in the process of making an image. At the end of the day, we're the image makers, even though technology really helps us out. So the other argument that I've been hearing a lot of is that factory jobs, cashier jobs have historically been replaced by automation and AI, so why do artists think they're so special? And I see where they're going with this comment, but I think they're missing the bigger picture. And that is, things like visual art and creative writing are forms of human expression. Sure, they're occupations too, but at their core, they're an expression of our existence. The fact that AI can make an image in seconds, something that might take a human hours or days to make, and years of skill building to be able to do it, is mind-blowing. And I think that's what artists might be reacting to. I'm not an expert by any means, but the data these AI platforms are pulling from are images that were posted to websites that were then scraped to collect the data. During that process, there was no discretion between copyrighted images or public domain images, better known as free images. And for those who don't know it, just because an image is on the internet doesn't mean that you can use it. Most images on the internet are not free to use, and just because an artist uploads an image doesn't mean they're consenting for other people or entities to use that image. That said, a large portion of images used to train AI were copyrighted images or other people's intellectual property. So that means years and years worth of work from possibly millions of people have taught these AI platforms everything they know, and these people never consented or agreed to this. Now I know it's gonna come up, somebody's gonna say, it's not like AI is photoshopping these images together, it's doing exactly what a human learning to draw would do, which is looking at the artist before it and learning. And sure, that very simply describes how it works, but it's not entirely accurate. AI can really only pull from what it's been fed. It doesn't really have creative input of its own. It doesn't have its own innate creative style to add to whatever it's making, like a human would. And that's how we each develop our own style. We're limited or we're propelled by our own physical ability in creating an image. And that plays a role in how the final image turns out. Mentally, we're only limited by the depths of our imagination, which is the other factor that plays a role in our creative output. Anytime an image is made for commercial use, it has to be looked over to make sure that it's not infringing on another IP to avoid lawsuits. It's been brought up that this might be a reason why AI might not be viable in a large way for commercial use. From what I researched, we're not currently sure how often AI infringes, but when we finally see it in the use of commercial hands, I think we might see it used early on in the process to kind of generate concepts. Later, humans would refine and develop the concept generated by AI, and in this use case scenario, we'd see AI function as more of a tool. I personally think that this is how we might see AI integrated into the commercial creative process. Here's something to consider. At one point, photography didn't exist. We relied on artists drawing and painting to record visual representations. And once cameras were invented, artists didn't stop drawing and painting. In fact, a new profession was born, the photographer. Fast forward to the age of the smartphone and everybody has a camera on them. And they're encouraged to believe that they're photographers with the rise of apps like Instagram, but at the end of the day, photographers still exist, painters still paint, and people still draw. What all these creative occupations share is their ability to express a unique perspective. The ones that move us are the ones that we can relate to, and those require a mind and experiences. And I think we can't lose sight of that. The thing is, AI isn't going anywhere. It's here, and now we need to focus on the ethics of it. A good place to start would be legislation. At the very least, artists need to be able to decide whether or not they want their artwork to be fed into a data set to train AI. And those artists who choose to have their work train AI should probably be compensated too, because they're doing the legwork that AI will run on. We need to consider how we're going to coexist and make sure that artists are at the forefront of the conversation. Let me know what you guys think about AI art and artists and how all of this will come together. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.